Indie writers you need to read. And this is somebody who I've been reading for a while, and I can't believe that we are 9 weeks and 9 episodes in, and this is the first time that I'm shouting her out. She's actually a friend of mine on Twitter. I met her, we quote unquote met virtually through me reading her articles and retweeting her and sharing them. She's outstanding writer. You see, she's got over 12,000 followers on Medium. Her name is Lauren Elizabeth. This article, now I am maxed out because I read every one of her articles. I don't subscribe on Medium, but she does have a Ko-fi account, which I do encourage everyone to support. I'm not a Medium fan and not a fan of subscribing to Medium as a platform. Similar to Rockfin in that you pay $5 a month. I believe you get access to everybody's work. Just not a fan personally. And what I have learned is that if you open the article in a private window, you will be able to see the full article without having to subscribe. And I did love very much this one, and I thought everybody here would really enjoy reading it as well. xlauren-mx.medium.com. And I do very frequently include her in the top 5 for leftists.today, and she's frequently appearing in Independent Left News. And she's got an adorable little kitty cat also. She lives in upstate New York. Now, Lauren is actually a healthcare professional worker. She's a healthcare worker's aide, and she does this on the side, in her spare time. And she writes very consistently, beautiful writing. Sometimes she writes a lot exposing what's going on with Manchin and cinema and the rotating villain stuff within the party, correctly predicting what's going to happen sometimes weeks in advance. And this one I thought was really high quality and fit with what we're talking about, which is that Joe Biden is weak and the American people will pay for it, and that there are real long-term consequences for his inability to effectively lead. And what I love about her stuff is that they are short reads, but they are to the point, they are poignant, and they've got some gut punches similar to like a Caitlin Johnstone. So, before he was even elected, I and countless others questioned whether or not Joe Biden was the leader to meet this movement. Of course, we're among them as well. With the coronavirus pandemic raging, inequality rising, people desperate for change, regardless of where they might find themselves on the political spectrum, there's no denying that whoever would occupy the office of the president following Trump would face unique challenges they would need to be willing to tackle. To this day, watching the Democrats rapidly coalesce around the most milquetoast, boring, status quo politician they could find in an effort to beat the candidate who not only polled well against Trump, but got more people excited than any Democratic candidate in decades just to stop Medicare for all and higher taxes on wealthy, was an experience that has forever changed the way I view politics. Not only that, they organized better against Bernie Sanders than they ever did against the GOP. Boom. And one of the things that's cool about Medium is you can actually highlight that and tweet it as a quote. Nevertheless, here we are with Joe Biden, left wondering what's going to happen next. Joe Biden is incredibly weak. As much as liberal voters and loyal Democrats might like to deny it, the man can't even hold his caucus together, much less keep a campaign promise. After all, not even a year in, and we've already abandoned the $15 minimum wage, police reform, immigration reform, and negotiating drug prices for Medicare. Throughout the tenure of his presidency, the bravest thing he did was exit Afghanistan. Unfortunately, that bravery and willingness to do what is objectively the right thing to do doesn't seem to extend to fighting for legislation that would benefit the American people. He's had a year to prove himself. Well, it's been really 9 months. Right now, regardless of whether or not his administration is directly responsible or not, the American people who don't follow politics see supply chain issues, gas prices skyrocketing, food, grocery prices skyrocketing, inflation across the board, and a president who can't even get his own caucus behind him at a time when the party holds the House, the Senate, and the White House. Not only that, but when members of his own party hold his agenda hostage, he does nothing aside from shrug his shoulders and pretend as though there's nothing he can do. It's not only is it weakness, it's weakness that the American people are going to end up paying for in the end. As she said before, she doesn't care. She could care less. I could not care less about Joe Biden, his fellow corrupt corporate Democrats, or their political futures. I don't care about Kamala Harris wringing her hands, unable to figure out how she could possibly be so unpopular. I don't care about Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. I care about the fact that their flailing and fundamental inability to get anything done is paving the way for a Republican landslide in 2022. Yep. A Republican Party that has learned its lessons has already begun gerrymandering districts in order to ensure they secure the House for the next 10 years minimum, and is facing the undeniable reality that democracy is an inconvenience they could live without. Okay. Again, debatable, but okay, I see what she's saying. And here we are with a Democratic Party that still treats all this like politics as usual. Joe Biden can't even figure out how to fight for his own legislation that would shape his legacy. And we're expected to believe he's going to lead the Democratic Party through the midterms and hold the House and Senate? And yet we can really be surprised when his entire career is encompassed with concessions to the right under the guise of negotiations. Even when CNN is talking about how this next election could spell disaster for Democrats, there's only so many warnings that can be given. Biden himself seems to understand that he's the last dying breath of neoliberalism's reign. There's a bloodbath coming politically, and the Democrats will only have themselves to thank for it. She dares them to run, vote blue no matter who again. Let's see how it turns out. Well, we know how it's going to turn out, and we know that they're going to do just that. But again, please donate to her Ko-fi account. Lord Elizabeth, she's outstanding. Joe Biden is weak. Can't agree more. Great work, Lauren. Thank you for your support, for your work. Really appreciate your voice out there.